Are live. Welcome to the Arena Coop. This is Adwicta.
This is Phantom Merps.
We're back to the old school days. Merps no longer
Yeah.
has a camera.
Yeah. So this camera worked a week ago, and now it doesn't. That's about as
Such is
simple as I can.
life.
I mean,
This is a
that's
very
that's
good
it.
life lesson.
Yeah.
Things that
This is
work a
also
week ago no longer work now.
this is also a problem for Tuesday, isn't it? Hmm.
Yeah, we should probably. I mean, I don't know how it doesn't work. You should just be able to plug it back in. But yes, we did try to unplug it and plug it back in
Yes, I
twice.
also restarted the computer.
Dude, are you sure your computer's plugged in? That may be the problem.
No, I didn't check that.
Okay. Well, don't push the power button to check.
Okay, good.
Let's just
Excellent.
go on as it is. We're doing Warrior today. So I don't know what your experience is in the two BRM weeks, but it has been going so well for me.
Really?
Like I'm
Okay.
averaging like more than 10 wins per run in my last like dozen runs with like all sorts of
Whoa.
random classes. I mean, I've been good draft luck and everything too, but I think the meta has really like softened up. So that's a good sign. But none of those runs are with Warrior because I've spent forever trying to queue up this Warrior, and we are now going to play Garrosh at his lowest point. He will not get any worse than this. We really hope.
Do you want to explain this for the audience? Why?
Okay, so the new card sucks. It's really bad. I don't care how you square it. It's like what, a 2/5 for 4 mana. It's awful. They're not getting their rare card yet. Revenge is not awful. It's not a great addition to the whole collection, but it's not going to make the Warrior worse.
Yeah.
And in the next expansion, the Warrior will get better, because if not, then I don't know what the hell Blizzard's doing. Like, you never nerf the least popular, least winningest class. You never go around and like nerf that, right? Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense, especially after you've done it two expansions in a row for no good reason. So, yeah, Warrior used to be. I think no one really thought he was like the worst class, but after GVG, kind of a consensus worst class, and after BRM, going to be the worst class by far. But we play all classes evenly, and we figure why not get this out of the way, and so we don't have to touch Garrosh again for what's our rotation? Like 9 classes, add another half. We probably don't have to get back to him until the next expansion, actually. So here's to
Ooh.
that. Warrior also
Sounds
used to be my best class, so who knows? Maybe I'm still decent with it. I haven't played it in so long. It hasn't been queued up. Let's hope for a decent draft to because it's the arena, right? Like, you get a good draft with any class, right? The Warriors, even if you win with the Warrior 2 less wins per run than any other class, like, you can get a draft that is a 12-win draft.
Yep. So this is good. I think this is appropriate that I'm not even shown because I'm going to be very deferential towards Advocate anyways. Warrior is definitely his class. It is far from my class. I'm just right now milking all I can out of this 7 Fire Elemental Shaman deck. I'm playing it like super slow. It's like 1 win a day.
Just
Just wanna,
letting it drag out.
I'm just letting it drag out. Also, I
Oh my
haven't been
god.
playing much.
Savoring every single 3 damage ping.
Yeah, I had a typical. So I was facing a priest, and I felt bad for him. He added me afterwards, but like I didn't see that he added me afterwards until later. But I'm sure he only had nice things to say. But it was turn 6 Ellie, turn 7 Fire Ellie, turn 8 Stormforge Axe,
Fire
Ellie,
Ellie.
turn 9 Fire Ellie Totem, and then turn 10. No, he conceded by then. I had another
I was
Fire
about
Ellie
to
in
say,
him
this
though.
guy, man, still hanging around after those Fire Ellies.
He was in a pretty good spot until turn 6 when I started, fire elemental and
Yeah,
everything.
that'll get you back
But,
into a game.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the Frothing Berserker, which is wonderful as a first pick. This is one of the best cards for the Warrior, no matter what you're playing. And like, because at some point, especially in GVG, right, you will get the board, and once you have the board, you will be able to do stuff with it with a Frothing Berserker that's gonna be worth way more than 3 mana, and it's not even a bad 3-drop at 2/4. Battle Rage. I'm gonna go with Hearth Arena on this. I mean, one Battle Rage is very good, and the other 2 cards are like, they're okay. They're not bad, but you want the upside for now.
Yeah. Also, for those of you in the audience who know that I play D3, it's a sad day when I'm not playing Season 3. It's not happening. I'm not playing Season 3. Just schedule is too busy. I know. I know. Everyone is sad. All right, let's go on with the draft.
Cleave, one of the best
Cleave.
warrior cards since GVG came out. Giblin Stalker. Oh, so one of the worst parts about a warrior draft, which is awful, as if the warrior's not bad enough, is that it has no 1, 2, or 3 drops that are viable, that are actually minion drops in its class cards. So you'll notice this if you're like drafting Warlock, for example, which also, until the Imp Gang boss, didn't have any of those. Actually, no, they had a 1/1 drop, but you're trying to curve out a little lower with the Warlock anyway, and you'll just have trouble like getting enough 2 drops. So, like, as the Warlock, it's not the worst rule in the world to just, like, take any viable 2-drop you can get until you get enough of it. It's kind of the same for the Warrior, but, you know, without the upside of the Warlock. So, we're definitely taking a Giblin Stalker. We're taking any 2-drop. The Warrior's a little, like, you know, Fairy War Axe, questionable 2-drop. It means you're not, like, totally out of luck, right? If you don't, if you have that to play instead of an actual drop. And the Warrior also has a card advantage problem. Well, we don't, because we have a Battle Rage. But if you don't have a Battle Rage, you need the tempo from like actually playing stuff, but then eventually you're going to need card advantage too to get any use out of your hero power. It's kind of this like awkward thing. So you want to maintain the flexibility, but it means your draft is pulling you in all sorts of directions all at once. And you really need to balance all of those factors, or else you like are going to lose just half your games from meeting up with the deck that does whatever you were trying to do better. Because the Warrior really doesn't do anything better than another class. Like, nothing. But it does a lot of things okay, right? That's the Warrior's kind of calling card. Like, we're okay at this too. Death Spite, very good card. Put our first weapon on the board. Triggers a Frothing Berserker, acts as a ping, and it's one of those great, like, deal 1 damage to everything cards, which get a lot of value and causes a lot of wins. Even something like an Arcane Explosion, like on the pure, like, how many wins does this give you, is pretty high. Venture Co, Scarlet Crusader, or the Farseer. I'm going to go with the Scarlet Crusader here instead of the Venture Co. I don't know why Hearth Arena is recommending the Venture Co so much. Because we need a big drop. Yeah, I guess we do need a big drop. But
That
no,
seems wrong, though.
I want to curve out more desperately. So whenever you go against Hearth Arena when it comes to a curve, you're probably wrong, because it's programmed. We've tweaked with that so much to the degree in which I'm sure I don't really need a 3-drop because I already have 1, and I'm going to get enough in the rest of my deck. I'm just not that keen on getting a Venture Co Mercenary, and Hearth Arena thinks that we'll get enough, that we won't get enough big drops for the game, and we might not. But even still, Scarlet Crusader is just so high on the list of things that you want to do, and as the Warrior, you try really desperately to get the board in the beginning. So I'm going with the Scarlet Crusader over the Venture Co. It may really be a wrong pick. We'll see, right? Because we have nothing big, and if the Warrior has nothing big, it's not going to win because you can't deal damage fast enough. You don't have that capability. You're not like a rogue. You need to like make it to the mid game before you can unleash your kind of like burst. So here's Flesh Eating Ghoul, our mandatory 3-drop, and now we already have 3 3-drops going to pick 7. Hearth Arena is starting to look at me like, why did you take the Scarlet Crusader when you could have had a nice big drop? And that's what it does. So hopefully we're going to get a little lucky in our drops and get some big things going forward.
Oh, it's the new card.
It's an Axe Flinger! Avoid at all costs, Fairy Dragon. All costs. Boulder Fist Ogre, Antique Healbot, Arcanite Reaper. Gotta go with the Arcanite Reaper. Boulder Fist Ogre is a good solid drop. Warriors need those, but you gotta go with weapons over drops always. Alright, Rickyson 33, thanks for subbing.
Thanks for your support, man. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed those merps and Advocate faces.
Reiki-san33 says, about time I sub to my favorite Hearthstone stream. Thanks. Little Exorcist, Demolisher, Light Warden. I hate the Demolisher on the Warrior. You're just not guaranteed the board, and if you control the board, you're probably going to win anyway. I'm going to go with a Little Exorcist here.
Okay. This is, I guess, the best out of a pretty bad situation.
Mm-hmm. Second Cleave, totally fine. Not going to be upset about a second cleave. Shattered Sun. You see the amount of 3-drops? You see why we probably don't need that Scarlet Crusader? And we probably wanted like a bigger card? This is what Hearth Arena was telling you, and almost everybody agreed that we should have taken the Scarlet Crusader, and I went against Hearth Arena, and now we're paying for it. Because if you ask me what to do with that pick now, knowing how this draft has turned out so far, I would have taken the Venture Code, definitely.
Yeah. Hearth Arena, it's a machine. It knows probabilities.
Yep.
We programmed
so
it.
Yeah, if you're going against it on something as simple as drops, it's doing a better job than you are. I still find myself fighting it here and there when I'm like, oh come on, it's so early, right? Like this is fine, but it's not. Slam. All right, we got another sub. If Biff, thanks for subbing. We're gonna keep this train rolling. We got 6-7 more subs to go before we hit 50, I think.
Thanks a lot, man. I mean, you're always here, so why not sub, I guess? But no, in all honesty, thank you so much for your support.
All right. Let's go with Slam. We don't have 4-drops, but at this point, I'm worried about the whole card advantage thing that we had tossed away with the Scarlet Crusader. So let's go with a Slam. And see, it's times like these now you can't take the Ogre Brew because you have way too many 3-drops. Execute's a good card though, so I'm not upset about taking it at all. But if we were a little low on 3s, we could have just picked up the Ogre Brute and not suffered that much of a loss in quality of the deck. Good. Stranglethorn Tiger. We need more big cards. We definitely need more big cards. The warrior kind of needs to use the weapons to gain control of the board. If it doesn't, but then afterwards that's to stabilize with minions because weapons are 1 or 2 use only.
There seems to be a clear-cut good card here.
Yeah, the Nerubar Weblord is a great card for our deck.
We have
only one card with an actual battle cry, but you can't replace an amazing card like a Arathi Weaponsmith.
How many times have we said, how do we play around Deathwing? And that's a card to play around Deathwing, the Nerubar. It's so powerful.
All right, Axe Flinger's appearing, trying to get us to take it. We're not biting. We're taking another Death's Bite. Okay, so we're good on weapons. We have 4 weapons now. We're very good on weapons. I am satisfied with no more weapons. And, we could take 1 more and it'll still be okay. But now if you take more weapons, you know that some of the weapons are going faced, right? Or going into, 1/1s. Boulderfist Ogre, exactly what we want. Something big. Frostwolf Warlord, not really exactly what we want, but it'll do as something big. You can usually get it out as a 5/5. It's better than a charge.
Yeah. So someone in the chat, Imkohai, says, I've recently just started Hearthstone, but I can never win more than 4 wins in Arena. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
That's not that bad for just starting Hearthstone.
Yeah,
to be winning,
really not that bad.
Yeah.
4. Okay, if you are using a program like Hearth Arena, you should be getting the draft at least somewhat right.
Mostly right.
Mostly
right.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little modest there. So what you want to do is make sure that your plays are correct. And you can see the discussion and our explanation from what we're going to be doing after we draft. And also, you just want to know basics as well, like value, trading versus going face. You also want to know your opponent's cards and their potential plays, which is something when you begin, you won't know.
Yeah, that takes experience.
You can't
even just sit there and learn it or think about it. You have to be in those situations, or you have to watch a stream and be very, very, very tuned in.
Yes,
but just get some more experience and it'll come. If you're already getting 4 wins as a new player, that's really good actually, especially in the current kind of advanced, no longer everyone's starting out at the same level kind of environment. Okay, so I'm taking a Violet Teacher as just something I could drop on turn 4.
Sure.
Not that a Twilight Drake is bad, but I think we've come to just the end conclusion that Violet Teacher will almost always be better than Twilight Drake. Ooh, I'm not taking another cleave. Like, cleaves are great, but I'm not taking another one. Warsong Commander is what Hearth Arena picks. I was leaning towards Shield Block, but let's see what the Warsong Commander can do. Violet Teacher, Arathi Weaponsmith, Shattered, Scarlet, Little Exorcist. Okay, I can see what they're doing. We have a lot of cards that'll work with a Warsong. That's fine.
We do.
Warsong will make our late game stuff into our early game cards into late game cards. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're in such desperate need of 2s. Come on, draft. It's just it's not a 3-drop, right? Warsong Commander, which is good because we have way too many 3-drops.
Yeah. Hearth Arena doesn't count it as a 3-drop, does it?
It's a tiny bit of a 3-drop. It wants us to take an Elven Archer over a Shield Block. Yes, I definitely agree. Pinging something is very, very good as a warrior, and we don't have enough of it. And we're not over weapon, and we're going to actually lean away from the weapons right now. I think this is a great pick. So regret that Scarlet Crusader.
Hearth Arena was right. What a surprise.
I think we have to take a Stormwind Knight here. How many 3s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, not necessarily.
No, not necessarily yet.
1, 2.
What's Hearth Arena saying here?
I mean, it wants a Harvest Golem, but we're leaning. It's so small. Okay, this deck is going to be way more aggressive than I want it to be, but I guess we're going with the Harvest Golem.
Yeah.
We still don't have 2-drops, so that means we're going to pick all the 2-drops we have. Like 2-drop here, Annoyotron, done. It's something to play on turn 2.
It's, yeah, it's not even the fact that it's a 2. It's just the best pick here.
Abusive Sergeant, it's a 1-drop, done.
Yeah. We don't need more weapons, and we don't want bad weapons to clog up our weapon slot.
South Sea Deckhand, it's a 1-drop.
No love for the Spectral?
No, I'm taking the Spectral, I'm not taking the South Sea Deckhand. But we have 3 2s. We're not going to get enough 2s. This is going to be very bad. Because you don't do anything as a warrior in turn 2, right? It's like Hunter skipping turn 2. You just kind of lose afterwards. South Sea Deckhand, the number of weapons that we have 4 things that provide weapons, so it'll probably be able to like charge out, so it's not that bad. And playing on turn 1 is always a good way to like get the board. But we still need big stuff. You know, we have 3 big things, not good enough for a deck like ours. So we got to get the Spectral.
Wait, can we stop here? All right, so Natasha's in the chat. She's saying I ate 2 McDonald's ice cream cones and I feel ashamed, and that's why I'm not on camera. Let me correct this. I've only eaten 1 ice cream cone for now, and I feel fantastic. Okay, that is something I wear with pride. Those McDonald's ice cream cones are awesome.
Okay, Whirlwind Tide.
Yep,
we're not charging. We have a whatever.
We have a charge.
Yeah, we don't need to charge. We don't want an Ogre Wormwall. We're kind of like on the edge of overweaponing already, and we didn't end up taking a shield block, so we're whirlwinding.
What? No, you don't get to eat the other Sunday. It's my Sunday.
Oh, Upgrade, you are so good, but we can't take you. We can't take you because there is an amazing card being offered. But yeah, Upgrade, very good with what we have. That's fine. We'll take the Argent Commander. So this deck has a lot of card advantage, but it's gonna have no tempo. Hopefully it'll let us live to see the day. Fury War Axe, that'll be how we stay in the game in the beginning. It'll act as a 2-drop. You see how high Cruel Taskmaster is? That's how badly we need a 2-drop. But I mean, Fury War Axe is always going to be better as a 2-drop than Cruel Task.
Yeah, Cruel Task is a conditional 2-drop. Very awkward.
And Azure Drake. You can't. These are not like actual 2-drops. They're 2 mana, but they're not 2-drops.
Nope.
So we have a 2-drop problem with this deck, having not passed up a single 2-drop in the entire draft. This is the Warriors' problem. Like, in a nutshell, it's just as bad as the Warlock's problem, but even worse because it doesn't even have a 1-drop that's of any note. So it's not a low-value deck by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not functional.
As a warrior, it's so punishing when you're not able to drop a 2 because you're a weapons class. You're a very strong weapon class, and you can get value out of your weapons, but you're not getting any value when you weapon, and they are constantly having like a stronger board and hitting you in the face.
Yep.
So by losing the board on turn 2, they grab it, and your weapons become so much less effective because suddenly your health is at risk.
And you can't actually armor up until very late in the game, or else that's hugely anti-tempo.
Right.
So, this, by the way, if you guys don't know, I'm going to put the Hearth Arena link in the chat. And it's a Tempo Warrior, 66.5. Like I said, it's not low. It's not low, but also, yeah, it's not functional. The value's fine. And there wasn't really a way for us to make it functional, right? Like, we could have traded a Scarlet Crusader for a bigger drop and then traded one of our other cards for a 3-drop to fill in the gap in a better way. But there's just nothing. Like, we were not offered any real taunts besides Little Exorcist. We were offered Earthen Ring or the Crusader. It doesn't really matter that much, so we weren't offered like an antique heal bot or something like that at a spot that we could take. No taunts, a lot of weapons, no early board. Our card draw engine relies on us actually having a board. It will be really, really, really luck based on how we start and whether we're able to do anything with this deck at all.
It really will. I think this is one of those drafts where you look at it and you're like, I don't have any huge regrets, even with 2020 hindsight, right?
Yeah, right. No, the draft just went this way. And there was no way you could have pushed the draft in a better direction.
Right. Because especially after you grabbed the Warsong Commander, the Scar Crusader over the Ventricle Mercenary looked a lot better at that point. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a draft that didn't work out.
And with Warrior drafts, this sometimes happens, and it happens at a higher frequency than with any draft, except maybe Priest. I think Priest may blow more than Warrior, but that's kind of it. Even Hunters have more consistency than Warrior drafts. Yeah,
Priests have the same problem, except that they have
huge upside,
just
easy upside.
They just have better cards. Let's just say that they have much higher upside. Their mechanism for winning doesn't involve damaging themselves.
Yeah.
And also, the problem with weapons is you can only have one out at a time. So you enable yourself, but you take away your life, and you can only have one weapon. If only you could do a wield, right?
Yup.
That would be something.
Yup. And it didn't matter before GVG, but now number of attacks matters a lot more. So weapons still only give you one attack. So weapons actually got weaker. Fairy Dragon, hope for the best.
Sure. Is there any consideration for Cleave?
Yeah, I may keep the Cleave, especially because it's a Paladin. So they're going to have to start with minions. Fine, I'll keep the Cleave.
But guys, as you see, this week I'm mostly just going to be probing Adwood. I'm like, what do you think about this? And I'm going to leave the ultimate decisions to him. He is a much better Warrior player than me, although most people are much better Warrior players than me.
People who have played the Warrior are much better Warrior players than Merps.
Yeah, that's shockingly accurate.
So we just passed there because you can't coin out the Fairy Dragon and expect to get one of our non-existent 2-drops. And now we can put out a Frothing and put the pressure on, protect it with a Little Exorcist, but the Exorcist isn't going to do anything because it's about to be his turn 3, so he'll eat the Exorcist. If we coin out the Exorcist now, it'll kill a 1/1, which doesn't really do much. I would much rather him not trade something in so that we can cleave the next turn. Or I guess we could just use the Death Spite. I don't see the point of using the coin right now because the follow-up of Little Exorcist is really weak.
Sounds good. Can you guys hear Natasha laughing? She's having a great time talking to you guys, and apparently just like trashing on me. Jeez.
Really? Is that gonna remove it? Oh, thank God.
Whoa.
I mean, let's go for it.
The Exorcist seems decent, yeah.
The light compels you.
Alright, time to withstand the onslaught of the Sword of Justice.
Locked and loaded.
Fine.
Surprisingly, really good.
I could coin something out to set up a cleave. It's actually good. I'm going to coin something out to set up a cleave. That's going to be better. Or I can Deathbite something twice. He has 5 mana. That could be actually out of Deathbite range. Can he deal 6? Probably not. He has to have something with 5 attack to actually deal 6 damage. Although he'll have to slam his face into it afterwards. That's fine. I can Annoyotron after that.
What now?
So I'm setting up the cleave on the next turn, is why I did that. The Frothing Berserker cleave, and then I can Annoyotron Deathbite. Fine. I mean, do things like that. See if I care. I really do care.
I wonder.
So consider Annoyotron Harvest Golem here.
Oh no, you would Annoyotron Frothy. You would not Harvest Golem. If you Annoyotron, you definitely Frothy.
Oh, fair. If you Azure Drake, you would set up for the cleave anyways, right?
No, your Drake is dead.
Well, right, but it's gonna hit into it, leaving it at 2 damage.
This is something he can't really deal with. I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay.
And this Deathbite Cleave combo that's gonna come out is gonna do some work. Yes, you have to do that.
Let me.
So we're hoping that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he really wants to get rid of the Frothing. That's good. Works. I do wish this cleave does more than that, but it's not really my choice at this point. Yeah. There's nothing I can do. I would have to save for the Azure Drake. Well, I guess I might as well save for the Azure Drake.
What now?
Yeah, okay, why not? Why not? Why not?
All right.
Well, I mean, we're in this for the long game. He has the board. We're not getting it back until we have card advantage. So
Yeah,
we're
definitely not
taking
getting
this
it back with
very
the
slow.
cards in hand.
It's a game where we get Kodoed, where we get, Argent Protected. There's not much you can do about stuff like this. The Drake doesn't do much here.
Nope.
So, I guess we don't really need to play it. We have to cleave for obvious reasons. So that's fine. We don't need to play it.
Whoa. Wait, Drake cleave would have cleared, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh.
Well, I said we couldn't play Drake. Yeah, I didn't realize that would have dealt an extra damage. Force Tank Max. Well, we got to get rid of that somehow. There's no real good way. We would need something like an Execute. That is definitely not an Execute. We need to pop it. 3, yeah. Alright. Oh, there's only so much you can do. I guess the War Axe doesn't have to do that. I think we need to armor up instead. 2 damage, Fury War Axe would save 2 damage. This will get us 2 health. Yeah, I think it's something we have to do.
Yeah. Whoa. That Grim Patron.
Reporting for duty.
Yep. Once again, there's really not much you can do in a situation like this. 7, 2, 3. Alright, well, might as well set something up.
Alright, flesh eating as well.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be painful.
10, 14. Okay, so he just needs a Paladin card to win. Oh. Don't see a way out of this now.
I mean, there was never a way out of this.
Yep. Well, that was an unfortunate first game, but the Warrior versus Paladin matchup is pretty bad anyways.
Record.
It's also part of the reason why Warrior is not a good class at the moment. It just doesn't match up well with what we think is the best class at the moment, which is the Paladin. If you ever do reach the late game, the hero powers are just unfair, stacked up against each other. Like, completely unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. It has the same awful matchup Priest does, and Shaman.
Garrosh versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory.
Victory or death!
Priest. As far as matchups go, it's at least a good one. The Fairy Dragon will stay alive.
Are we keeping the Shattered Sun? We have a lot of 3s. We have an option now. Not a really great option.
Not an option. Little Exorcist is not a 3-drop.
No.
The Fairy War Axe is a much better option. So if the Fairy Dragon looks like it's going to die, the War Axe is going to come out instead. Yay.
Oh. Natasha says you look very tired.
For the last... Since Tuesday, I've been basically working around the clock.
Oh.
And I took last night and Friday night off. But other than that, I've been working. And I'm going to go back to work after this. And I did do 2 arena runs over the weekend. I like squeezed them in, like in the mornings and like at night.
War Axe.
Yeah, or just War Axe.
Yeah.
There's no need to be fancy here.
Do we need the Abusive Sergeant out there?
To set up an even worse,
No, we don't. We don't.
even worse one. No, we have so much tempo.
Yeah.
Push forward.
Like nothing he can put out won't be taken care of by our weapon and sacrificing one of our minions.
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
That
Oh,
worked out well. Yeah, we have an abusive sergeant. We can put a
yeah, you
spectral.
have an abusive for the Spectral Knight.
Push forward.
Okay, that worked out decently.
We have all shrouded minions. They're so pretty, and you can't tell what they are anymore with the new animation.
Not a fan of the new animation.
Yeah, I wasn't even a fan of the old animation. They need to make it like less like they're in a bubble and more like it's just misty.
True.
There's no way to just kill it.
It's really annoying.
Yeah.
We should respect it though.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely respecting it, but I'm not going to blow my execute on it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Push forward.
Already attacked.
You can't target anything.
Can't target anything.
Light bomb.
Not MC techable. Oh right, that card that we lost to last week.
Not much we could do about that. I don't think it was worth wasting an execute to protect it against the light bomb.
Let us see.
Oh, I guess he can target it. I mean, you can't Kodo or Cabal now.
Was he planning on Shadow Word painting afterwards? That would have been strange.
I think you just needed to like drop stuff on the board. Alright. Well, how do we work this? I mean, we have to, let's just abusive the fairy into the light spawn.
I think that's fine. Are you dropping the frothing? Are we dropping the frothing?
Yeah, I guess we're spreading, like totally spreading.
Okay.
The blade be thirsty.
For the crusade!
Or do we save the abusive? Or do I want some face damage? Because we could really save the abusive with very little consequences.
Yeah, you could, because life spawn goes down.
But no, it's face damage time. He's gonna have cards, it's gonna get mana. We are going to get some face damage now. He has a lot of things that he needs to clear. And we don't have any cards left for us to keep playing this this super conservative trading game.
And unlike last time, we can't play around light bomb. We just can't.
Yeah. Well, he would have light bomb before. We know he doesn't have a light bomb.
Sure.
Okay, so he had nothing. That's always good. Alright, this deck does not go 0-3. I think there's a legit chance that this deck would have gone 0-3. Like, not a high chance, but there's definitely a chance. It's one of those decks where, and we had curbed out both of our games, which is like a 75%, less than 75% proposition, I think.
Yeah. If Biff asks, we don't want to do 13 to the face. We really do want to do 13 to the face. But with priests, unless you're like 90% there, in which like you really have to respect their minions, which is like really annoying. It's
what if they taunted up the next turn? We had a lead. I don't want to lose.
Yeah, you're afraid of the taunt, and then afterwards, just by all the tricky.
We already know he can't clear it. Like, the only thing he could have up his sleeve is MCT that we didn't play around yet. But even if he MCTs, he'd have to, like, do more stuff. Whereas if we just left stuff on the board and he, like, taunted it, we'd be screwed.
Garrosh versus James.
Especially, like, you know, light spawn.
Victory or death.
Stalker. Yeah.
I don't know if the abusive is that good. No, it's okay early on, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. We can always get value back with the weapons.
I feel icky.
Aha.
He feels icky. Coin out harvest after. I can coin out the Giblin now. If I coin out the Giblin. If I coin out the Giblin, he can throw us 2-1 anywhere. He played a 1, hits a leper gnome, his deck is fast.
Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings.
No, if it's fast.
What now? Get in there and fight, maggot!
Yeah. I like this. So you save the coin, you can potentially force a ping.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? What's he targeting it with?
I'll show them.
Yeah, I don't know. There we go. That's a trade I like.
This is good. Saving the coin is pretty nice.
Yep. So he has a secret he really wants to get out, which is fine. Do we have another 3? We don't have another 3. Damn it. I want to start coining out 3s. We can just Giblin. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Slippery.
We're going to force him to kill one of our guys with the mad scientist. Seriously? And he didn't ping the turn before that? Oh, come on. This is stupid.
I wonder.
Oh, we know he doesn't have a 2-drop, so he can't ping. Maybe he has a Frostbolt, but I'm not going to play around 1 card.
One shot, one kill.
Alright, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. So guys, the reason why he didn't kill off the mad scientist and instead went with the hit was because didn't do anything on turn 3, didn't drop anything. So we know he doesn't have any small drops. So we're basically giving him the option. You know, we didn't have the read that he had an Elven Archer in hand. However, our read was you don't have anything small. So if you're actually going to ping and trade in the 2/2, you can't do anything else. So that's something in which you want to read the situation, because a lot of times you will want to bob your 2/3 into the 2/2.
Yep, and so I killed the 1/1 because I knew he wanted to trade in the 2/2 anyway. And otherwise he'd be able to ping if he really wanted to. Oh, great. Where are our 4-drop weapons? 'Cause that's probably going to be a mirror entity. Do I want to give him an Annoyotron or a Harvest Golem? Probably a Harvest Golem. Let's give him a Harvest Golem.
I wonder.
Okay. Do I want to give him a Matter Bomber? I don't think I want to give him a Matter Bomber. Yeah, why would we give him a Matter Bomber?
I don't love it.
Love what?
Like giving him a Matter Bomber
Yeah,
this
exactly.
turn, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good.
So it could be like something else random, but you're playing around the ones that may end the game. So you don't want to give him such a too big something from your entity, and you don't want to give him a Matter Bomber. Okay, he's going to get the Matter Bomber back. That's fine.
It's so weird.
He wants Brewmasters? I'll give him Brewmasters. Do you care if he gets Brewmasters?
Well, what happens if we just go face here?
What now?
Like, just drop the
Flame
Boulder Fist.
Strike?
Okay.
Don't we care about getting Flame Striked?
Not that much,
Sure
do
we do. We deal 7 damage to him. He's at 13. We have a 2/1 on the board. He's at 11.
Yeah, it's not enough.
We definitely care.
Out of all the things he could duplicate, Brewmaster is definitely not the worst thing. And it's not it?
So this Battle Rage is not going to get any value.
No.
He wanted to get it out really quick, so I really wonder what, that was weird.
Mind if I roll need?
Well, I guess we'll see if this Battle Rage gets any value. I'm not playing a flesh-eating ghoul into this.
No.
Nope. That's what I thought. That's fine.
Do we protect the ogre
Yeah,
by
of course we protect the
fireworks?
ogre.
Yeah, that's good.
We could Death Spite his face, but I'm just gonna protect the ogre. He doesn't seem to have a way to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. He put out the Loot Hoarder because that's his way of dealing with
It's a very bad Flame Strike for him, because we'll get damage on it the next turn, and he still has to ping a bunch of stuff. We'll use our face, we'll drop the Death Spite. He needs something else. Blizzard would be good, but if he's going to do the thing where he keeps freezing us, there's nothing we can do. We just lose the game if he has enough freeze spells. What? He's
Wow.
so lucky he didn't kill that thing.
I know. I was really hoping he'd be punished for that one.
11 plus 4, that's 15.
What?
Well, alright, if the Harvest Golem goes into the 2-1, you get the damage anyways with the Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Death Spite the 5-4, 2-2 into the 2-1, and then armor up.
Okay.
What now?
Or you could drop the Spectral after... No.
Actually, yeah, why not? Otherwise, what? 2 die, 3 die. I have a 6-3 and a 4-6, and then he armors up. 3-3, 4-6, 12 damage. 12 damage to his face, 5 more. Yeah, he's not quite dead.
Yeah, he's not quite. It's up to you.
Yeah, he's not quite dead if he flame striked. Like, we don't have lethal if he flame striked and pinged our 2-1. We would have flame strike. We would have lethal in 2 turns, but not quite yet. So we're gonna go slow for one
like,
more
if he
turn.
flame strikes, we're still good here.
Yeah. Well, depends, right? But yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, well, we're good here. But with those situations, like, there was it was an interesting turn. There was a lot of things that we could do, and this is the one ultimately in which I think sets us up the best, because he had to do something with that 2 mana to either heal or taunt up. Because we knew he had Flame Strike. That was really obvious from his plays. But
Yeah. Otherwise, we give him a whole nother turn to heal or taunt up, which is bad, because at that point it just means he has that card instead of he has like a much narrower set of cards. All right. So you see like the pretty soft meta coming into play here. Both of our last opponents made mistakes, like kind of mistakes that you can spot and be like, oh, that's a mistake, which
yeah, I think so. Although I just haven't been playing that much, and when I have, it's mostly just me being really happy I have so many fire elementals.
Garrosh versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
yeah, gotta throw it all away.
We have a lot of 3s. We have no 2s. We need to fish for a turn 2 play. Not looking great.
Now we don't even have a turn 3 play. But that's what I mean. Like we'll lose enough games just by the curve. It hasn't screwed us yet, which is the only reason we've like had a chance to win all 3 of the games.
Ooh.
Well, still not good. He's gonna get a secret out of it, so he's up a 3 mana card.
Yeah.
Like he actually just gained mana on that exchange.
Yep.
Gotta drop it. Are you gonna
Duplicate.
ping? Ping it.
Could be duplicate.
Ping it.
Locked and loaded.
Not like that. Didn't mean like that.
Interesting.
Alright. We can cleave and do nothing, but we're just gonna Arathi.
Which one do we kill?
Huh? The 2-2.
Okay. Counterspell? We haven't attacked his face yet, so it could be vaporized. It could be the barrier.
No, stupid.
Okay. We still have no real choices of what to do.
Playing the Drake here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sets up for a big cleave. Preserving our card advantage. Why don't we have the Kodos?
Because it's a good card. And
Okay.
haven't.
Do we go crazy and like frothing and whirlwind and then cleave? No. We just
Whoa.
frothing, hit it with a 4/4 and cleave and we're good.
Yeah. Is it a counterspell? What happens if it's a counterspell? We have no choice, do we? This is like just so obviously the
If
best.
it's a counterspell, then we also whirlwind and use our face.
4, 5, 6. Okay.
Alright. Be thirsty.
Oh my god.
Or we can protect the counterspell by whirlwinding here. Preemptively. To actually just play around that one card.
It's a decent chance.
But it will basically just kill our Drake. And waste a card.
Damn.
Actually, it'll kill a lot of things.
Yeah.
No.
This doesn't actually do it.
No, he'll trade.
Yeah. That's a problem. Because of the the spell-powered whirlwind, it doesn't like...
What to do?
Well, it means, we had 4 secrets to play around.
Yeah.
And he didn't pick the secret. So, we can't even read the secret.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just what
not the
happens when
worst.
you gain a 3 mana advantage on turn 2. It's the equivalent of us missing a 3-drop and doing nothing
I wonder.
in terms of the tempo swing. Fun. Really? You don't want to kill the 4/4?
Why would he kill... I guess he's just expecting to kill both.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you have to kill the frothing. Okay, yeah.
Well, we're officially off the board now.
Death's Bite.
Yeah, I'm thinking Deathbite is better than Fury War Axe here.
Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna be frozen now.
We definitely are. But we can attack the water only, and then also whirlwind.
Yep. It's the only way that we
Which-
don't actually get frozen forever.
Yeah. Gotta play the Boulder Fist. And our hand looks legitimately terrible going into next turn. in a
It's
really
happened in
bad
both of the
situation.
games that we lost, in which we didn't draw any weapons early and we only drew them late after we're done using up all our cards, and there's no way
Yeah.
to play multiple cards at once. So there's not much you can do about that. There's many ways for a warrior to get screwed. At least he didn't have a fireball.
Yeah. What
There's no.
dud?
There's no.
Yeah,
we can't
like-
even use a weapon on there. This has to happen.
Yeah. Like, what dud can pop out that is not a dud?
Well, it's pretty duddy, but it's not much we can do about it.
Well, okay, so we can actually survive.
What are you
could
seeing that I am not seeing?
Death's Bite and then kill off the
Oh.
Death's Bite
That's cool.
with another weapon and then
And kill the
armor up.
3/3.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't kill it because we're frozen.
No, you don't kill it. So, like, this is just a way to, like, you lost. There's no actual way to win. But, yeah,
Ha! We can kill a Tauren warrior before we lose.
I know. Well, we were really
Nope,
hoping.
we can't. We can't kill the Tauren warrior before we lose. We lose as we kill the Tauren warrior. Nope, doesn't change.
The light compels.
Yeah. So, I think we could revisit that, like, potential counterspell that turn. Mm-hmm. Do you think we should have tried Whirlwinding first?
Nope. Can't play around a 1/4 chance. You're killing your own minion for free with your own card that doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like,
The
you know how
toughest
bad
thing-
that is? You have to
that's-
have a read that out of 4 totally random cards that it is counterspell, which is a rare. We had the only reads that we had were that it was not a mirror entity and not a duplicate.
Yeah.
It would be really, really stupid to go the other way. Now, if it didn't actually kill the Drake, the 2/2, you might have considered burning a card for it, just to, ensure that you get the tempo. But it kills your 4/2. You're basically spending 2 cards to test for a 1/4 possibility. Right? We rolled the dice and said 3/4 of the time we win. Otherwise we lose. Otherwise you're rolling a dice that says 3/4 of the time you lose, 1/4 you win.
Victory or
You can't do that. Do we Elder Archer's face? No, we can't do that. It's Cleave. Cleave, you probably can't play it on turn 2. Ugh. Maybe we should have saved the slam just to have a 50% chance of being able to use it on turn 2.
Yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, no. Nope, nope, nope.
Nope.
Do we have to slam that thing?
I don't think so. But so if we slam it, I guess it does protect our Crusader better if we're going to play the Crusader.
If we're going to play the Crusader, we slam this now. Clearly, obviously.
That's an if though.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
You know, if he... Will we play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul? Probably
Potentially.
not. What's happening?
Yeah. This definitely protects the makes the Crusader play valid. Otherwise, that thing out there, we can't play the Crusader. Like, not can't play it, but
I can fix anything.
okay.
Still clears
What?
more things than the War Axe.
Why not the Flesh Eating?
Because it doesn't
What?
clear the 1/1. Once he drops a mech the next turn.
Or why not like the little exorcist? Like just
Because
for
it
the
doesn't. It's the
3/4
same exact
taunt.
reason. They're both 2/3s.
Are we so like? Do we need to clear like for him to trade both of them?
Well, what do you mean?
Like I would just play the little exorcist here.
Why?
What's he gonna?
He's gonna play a mech, kill the exorcist, and he has a 1/1 left on the board.
No, he does. Little exorcist is become the
Oh,
3/4.
it death rattles.
Yeah.
I see. Okay,
The light
sold.
compels you.
I didn't realize the death rattle was gonna trigger. Because at a 2/3, he would keep the 1/1 on the board, and you'd rather not give, especially a hunter, that kind of tempo. But a 3/4 is a totally different story, because now he can drop a mech and you have to trade both things in, which accomplishes the same thing as the Scarlet Crusader and is a less valuable card.
J3-4.
So Natasha is right next to me. She's eating my ice cream sundae, and her face is like 6 inches away from mine. She's just like laughing maniacally while she's eating my ice cream sundae.
And apparently you're supposed to be saying 3-4 because you're being bullied. Free Merbs to start a campaign for you.
Of course, they're starting a campaign for me. Yeah. Okay. So if we kill off the golem, we're left with 2
Yeah.
health. We can whirl.
Yeah, Flesh-Eating Whirlwind.
Okay. Sure.
Or you can Whirlwind beforehand and put out a Scarlet Crusader.
I wonder.
But it's Flesh-Eating when we can get the value.
Fleshy can get the value next turn too.
How?
Well, we're gonna have. If you put it after, like, if you whirlwind first and then put out the Scar Crusader, we have 2 things on board, and then we have a Fiery
He
War Axe in
trades.
hand.
He trades. We have one thing on the board that we can't trade. Right? He trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you played the Scarlet Crusader, you would have absolutely nothing that can trigger the Flesh-Eating Ghoul unless he puts out... Well, you'll probably have one, because the Scarlet Crusader and your weapon will kill one thing. But this way you get it up really high, and you force him to use a removal, which will deny him using pretty much anything else, because he has 4 mana, and that really takes a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is fine. He plays multi-shot, and then he can't play anything else.
So the Scarlet Crusader is always kind of the more valuable card than the Flesh-Eating. So it's the one you'd rather keep around. We're desperately low on cards, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
He still hasn't used his coin yet. So he's only up like 1.5 cards instead of 2.5.
Natasha's very entertained by you, chat, if you're curious. Oh my god, you're letting me eat the rest of my sundae? After you ate all the hot fudge?
Yeah, that's bad for you. I did you a favor.
God damn it. Arcanite Reaper time? Or no?
I don't know. Is it Arcanite Reaper time? I think it is. I want to drop more stuff on the board, but the Fairy War Axe is like just out of range. It's so annoying.
I know. So if you hit into it, you can, yeah, you don't get to
You don't
develop
get
much
to do
more.
anything. But I don't know what he wants to do with 7 mana. So we're going to get our card advantage back very slowly like this. But in order to get card advantage with weapons, we have to take face damage. So he's a hunter, which means we're limited in the amount of times we can do that.
Guys, stop like enabling Natasha. She thinks she's like hilarious. She's not. She's really not. This is like bullying. Being bullied here.
You should have eaten the ice cream before. You just left it out.
Alright, so we're going to be down a bit. I kind of
Adverse
want to
possession.
armor up this turn.
But okay, 5.
I think we can armor up this turn.
We could armor up this turn. That's fine. So you could attack, armor up, and then drop the 3 into 2 as well.
Because otherwise we spread to 4. It's kind of asking for it.
Yeah. So you're dropping a 3 and a 2. It's going to be a Crusader, isn't it?
It's going to be the Crusader and the Fairy Dragon. Did we also did we drop the Harvest Golem? No, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. We can only drop 2 things anyway.
What now?
Yeah. Make sure the fairy is on all the way on the right.
Why, he can't target things anyway.
Well, we want to make sure the Fairy Dragon is not in the middle, so even if he did, for some reason, target the Crusader, the Fairy Dragon would die if the Fairy Dragon were in the middle.
Okay, but if
Or-
he has 5 mana targeting it, I think we're okay.
We're okay, but...
Ah, there it is. Combo. Let's see how good his combo is. He's been saving up for it. Oh, that's not that good of a combo. I expected better. That's not good. I expected way better. He used his coin, he used 2 cards. Come on. Come on, man. We're gonna use our axe to kill that. We're gonna kill the dog. We're gonna drop all our shit.
I think so.
No need to armor up.
Yeah, we just gotta go for,
We want stuff.
yeah, for stuff at this point. Okay. Well, he has lost his overwhelming card advantage.
Yep. And we are at the point in which danger. Like if he keeps putting out big stuff, we're screwed because we have to keep playing this damn board.
Yeah.
And the only reason we killed that beast is because it was a beast. If it were a regular 1/1, I would have just left it there because he couldn't really do much to it. Okay.
A Watcher? Huh. Okay.
Well, I guess we see if it gets sent back. Or... Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we'll just use our face, if it is. We need to deal damage to him. I don't think it's an option to not deal damage to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Alright. What have you got up your sleeve? Because we got nothing.
That
We
Ancient
wouldn't-
Watcher is pretty good. It's soaking up a queen from us.
We would really like that Battle Rage card, but... Okay. Wow.
We cleaving?
We're cleaving.
Oh god.
We're not cleaving.
We're not cleaving. Not yet.
Job's done.
This is the worst top deck game.
It's pretty bad.
At least he's not like a paladin, so our hero powers actually just match.
Yeah.
I've been holding that card for a while. What is it?
Truth is my shield.
Oh wow, I've been holding that for a long time. Okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Huh. I hope we have something. That's not something.
Frost wolves stand ready.
Hope for the best. Not the best.
It's really bad.
1, 2, 4. We're alive, right?
We attack in for 5. Yeah, we're alive.
Not much else we can do then. He needs 2 more damage of reach. Well, at least he's not getting it right now. Although he's going to get another card the next turn.
Yeah.
And then we're going face.
Armor up. The 3/1 has to die.
3-1 has to die to the 2-1, and we're going face. Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
He can't get any buff or reach. If he got reach, we die anyway no matter what we do. So this is only a risk for a buff.
Yes.
And
it's
otherwise...
like a
we
Hound
go
Master.
for- yeah, otherwise it would take us a whole nother turn to kill him and give him another chance to draw something with an additional card that we have to remove.
Yeah.
This is the game. I'd be so sad if it was a silence. That's good. He's digging.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't... Kill command that didn't matter anyways. Unleash... No.
Are there any
didn't matter.
charging beasts?
Yeah, there are. King Crush.
Oh.
Tundra Rhino
Thunder
would
Rhino,
also work.
yeah. What did he get? Aww.
Oh.
Oof, perfect.
It was the,
Victory or death.
It was the wrong legendary beast.
Yeah.
Close game.
That's
close
the
game.
kind of deck we have. All right, we got our 3 wins. I think we can call this a night.
There you go, guys. Total tryhard mode activated. 3 wins, call it a night.
It's
That's
done.
good.
It's done. This deck it's hit its potential. Anything from here on out is overachieving. Man, it's been a while since I've been in the 2-loss bracket this early.
You also sound a bit tired.
Well, that's life.
Gera versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
That's life. That's what you're gonna say.
It usually is. Very rarely do things happen that's not life. We'll keep the harvest going so we could coin out 2 3s because we're probably not getting a 2.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Alright, let's hope
Okay.
it sticks.
Mind games or something? Are you like looking at your cards like, should I coin this out? No?
Oh, thank God. I didn't really want his portals to come online. Might have been good for us.
Turn 3 Mech Yeti. Concede.
Now ping us. Alright, where's that? I guess Cleave wouldn't really do it. Double Whirlwind.
Wait, guys. Okay, it was my ice cream in the first place, okay? Let's establish this. Can we establish this? No? Damn it.
Just me and Mr. Bite.
Wait, I paid for dinner. You just paid for the ice cream.
Could whirlwind and use our face onto there.
Yeah, we could. It's not terrible.
It's not good either.
Keeps his shade in for one more turn as well.
Well, Shay can do whatever it wants. Could shatter us on this, eat up the 2-1. No, that's not good. We'll put out the tiger otherwise.
Yeah.
Ping, eat, we'll eat. Is the tiger worth it?
What now?
No. It's happening.
The tiger is a little bit awkward. Yeah. Do whatever you gotta do.
You must cleanse the Sunwell.
Yeah, this makes it a little bit awkward for him. Kind of like this.
Did not save the whirlwind combo, but it doesn't look like we're going to be keeping the board for that long. We had 2 more turns to use it before you could just flame strike anything.
Yeah.
So this next turn we save the coin so we can Argent Commander if we really need to. Which we probably will need to.
Yeah. Putting that tiger out there was just, it gives him a lot of flexibility on the board,
Yeah,
which is
he can
something
do
you don't
anything
want
he
to do.
wants.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Okay.
So we have to Battle Rage.
Do it?
What do you want to do? This 3-1's dead.
Yeah, 3-1 is dead.
I wonder.
I think we have to Battle Rage.
Battle Rage is pretty decent here. Oh.
Well, this Abusive Sergeant's pretty decent. No, it's not even. It's totally pointless.
No.
I might as well trade both of them in.
Yeah.
Giblin and Fairy Dragon.
I think that's decent.
Slippery.
Push forward.
Alright, well, we got 3 cards out of that. He can't do anything yet. He could eat them all up if he like plays nothing. Good, he's gonna give us something to run our stuff into. It's fine. We'll do that.
Yeah.
There's no need to execute that. So we're tigering and abusiving. Yeah. Tiger, abusive, keep the 3-2 alive.
Now.
Keep the 3-1 alive because of Flame Strike?
You can like just ping it. We have a tiger.
You could, but then he can't Flame Strike next turn.
Why would he flame strike a tiger?
Alright,
It's a
so wait.
tiger.
Abusiving the...
Get in there and fight, maggot.
I mean, just throwing the 2-3 in. This is not a board you want to flame strike.
Yeah, it's fair.
We have 2-2-1s. You can only ping down one of them. Could use his Flame Strike right now and get like spend 7 mana to get rid of 4 mana's worth of stuff. Totally fine. We still have card advantage. We don't really have much to do, but Argent Commander is face.
Really? Why not? Guess we don't have anything better to do.
I have nothing better to do.
Are we really trying to rush him? Like, what? So, debating this versus Little Exorcist, Flesh Eating Ghoul. We give him a card there, but then we can Death Spite it afterwards.
We give him 2 cards there. He Flame Strikes again.
What's
The number 1 reason to do a bad Flame Strike is to Flame Strike immediately again.
To Northrend! Victory or death!
Do I unstealth the tiger? That's the question. 5 damage, he gets a card. I think it's worth it. It's 5 damage, he gets a card, he can't ping the shield down.
Okay. Especially if you're fearful of the second Flame Strike.
Yep, alright, no polymorph. Good stuff, good stuff.
That is a really annoying taunt.
Very annoying. Don't care that much, of course, because someone's getting executed, but...
Flesh Eating Little Exorcist?
what's
execute Death Spite to kill the 2/5. No?
Death Spite. We're killing it off right now? Okay.
Is there any reason not to? For Little Exorcist, we're setting up that Flame Strike we don't want to set up for.
Alright, no, that's fair. Okay.
Victory or death!
I wonder.
What do we have left? We have an Arcanite Reaper, another Death Spite. We have stuff. And we thinned our deck a lot already, so...
What to do?
That was a really annoying nullifier, though. It basically ate, like, 2 cards from us. Like, it got a 2 for 1. Alright, so he doesn't have another Flame Strike. Now we can do our stuff in peace.
What's happening?
Kill the 4/2. Dang it.
Great.
10 damage to his face.
Wait. So, if we hit his face, that deals... Alright, so 4 damage.
We're not hitting his face. We're hitting the 3/4.
the blade be thirsty?
And here's the game. My read was that he didn't have a Flame Strike, because he would have Flame Strike that board before, even with what we had there. Now he has to get rid of 2 taunts to get to any of our minions, unless he has 2 like small removals, and any of those staying on the board means he's dead. So I think he's dead. Like, you would have Flame Strike that board, right? Instead of doing what you did.
My work is paramount. Leave me alone.
The frost
There we go. No Flame Strike. Good read. Good win. Well played. Oh, and there's our reach.
Pretty good.
Yep. So this worked a lot better before. These like gambits you do as the warrior in the end game, because you have like more control over the things that he could possibly have and the things you have to read. There's way more stuff you have to read now. But something like Flame Strike or no Flame Strike is like one of the easier reads you can do. He could have just been holding back the Flame Strike waiting for us to extend on the board. But then he gave us like stuff to trade into, you know, and he was putting out a board to basically lose it. It was just a lot of factors that made it seem weird for him to pick that over a Flame Strike to kill our two very threatening minions.
Okay. So, the thing I was wondering about going face instead of killing the spider tank was we had a lot of taunts there, and by going face we would have put him down to
2. No, not 2.
3 damage. 3 damage.
Yeah, 3 damage.
In which case, if he did have a Flame Strike, he could clear anyways.
No,
right?
no, he doesn't have a Flame Strike. You can't worry about
doesn't.
a Flame Strike.
But then...
No, but if he had like one small removal or something like that, right? He would have just had the board again.
Garrosh versus
Um,
Uther.
Would he?
I will
Yeah.
fight with honor. Victory or death!
Well, okay. He needed
No.
2
He needed
small,
2 small
removals, or 1 small removal and a taunt, or you know, some combination of stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Just stuff to consider.
We don't even have a follow-up. We abusive sergeant. He taps. We don't have a follow-up.
Nope.
Damn it! Why does it have to be paladin? Warrior's so bad for just everything right now. Good. There is our card. The most effective card against the shielded minibot. It trades 1 for 1 and takes 6 damage.
Yep. Alright.
We'll take it.
Whatever.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Huh? I guess we'll still take it.
Whoa.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't take it. Hit it first.
Hit it first, and then if it's
Whatever.
Okay.
We'll go with the Harvest Golem regardless, because we're Arathi next. Well, we're up a card.
yay.
He was way too aggressive with that. I don't know why he wants this 2/2 to live so much. Right? It's like a weird thing to want to live.
It is
Like,
almost strange.
he's still wanting it to live. You see what I'm talking about, right?
I know.
Like, he's doing... You know what? I'll let it live. Is there any
will?
reason we shouldn't let it live? Why would we give him the tempo of getting the secret out?
Going
It
into
just
turn
protects
4,
the 3/3 as well.
what does he want to do?
Try this.
This protects the 3/3. It gives us our tempo, which is when this thing dies. He has no real good responses to this.
Okay.
And we just send it back by like 1 turn. His tempo gain. But for some reason he doesn't want to kill it. I think he may not have another secret. Like, it's entirely possible I think he just like drew his only secret.
Reporting for
Because it's just such a weird play otherwise. Right? You see this? Like, what is this for?
It is a little bit weird, I have
It's
to admit.
totally weird.
My blade be thirsty. Watch this.
Yep, there we go. That's why.
Good read.
There's just no reason to be playing that way unless he didn't have another secret. So you got his face damage in. We got the board. Let's see what you've got. 1 more turn until Equality consecrates.
You gotta be kidding me!
Could not care less about that guy. Definitely could not care less about that guy now. So assuming he's gonna quality consecrate next. Right? Alice is getting back on this board. I think we may just Drake instead of Tiger.
Okay.
All right. Give us some more options.
Sure. Why not?
Oh, we can Elven Archer execute.
Watch this. I strike.
Could also have traded the 3-1 in and executed to be safe, but I don't know what he can do. Like, even a quality consecrate, like, we would just execute and drop a Tiger the next turn and we'd be fine. But it's got to be an equality consecrate coming.
I'm so surprised he dropped the Ventrico on a board with an Annoyotron.
Right?
So I understand why you're saying he's going to equality consecrate. Otherwise, if you have any other play,
Yeah.
you have to make that play. You can't drop a Ventrico on
You can't
a board.
even play like, you can play like an owl?
Yeah.
That's like the best thing you can do right now. You can owl. And that's your
Except-
like entire turn.
Right. Except you probably want to owl the 7-4.
Yeah.
Soon
I
to
just
become much more than that. Ooh.
Do we
Really?
win? We have to win, right? Elven Archer, Abusive Sergeant. Abusive Sergeant. That to hit that. It takes one case of damage. That's at 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. Yeah, we win with a sword.
Okay.
Shot, one kill.
Watch this. Well played. Get in there and fight, maggot. I strike.
So weird.
That
Why
was
would you
weird.
drop?
I think he just admitted defeat. We had a ridiculously strong board at that
did.
point.
But yes, this is why Adwicta immediately thought that the opponent had a board clear afterwards.
There's nothing else
Otherwise,
you can do.
why would you drop? Yeah, why would you drop Ventrico onto an Annoyotron with a frothing berserker behind it?
Right. Like, at that point, he was probably going to lose anyway, but that just sealed his fate unless he had an Equality Consecrate combo, which he would still lose. But it would have required us to have some cards, which we did. Alright. We're way beating the curve right now. It's a 5-2 deck. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go take a break and pop open a Coke. I need to get some
Sure.
caffeine in me.
All right, chat.
yeah.
What is up? All right, chat. Here's the thing. Don't fall for Natasha's tricks and ploys. She is about as mean as you can get. She's mean to me. She's mean to the chinchillas that we own. She's just not a nice person. I'm pretty much a prisoner here. Like, I'm pretty much being held captive, as are the chinchillas. So, hashtag save merps. Yeah, guys, if you could see the chinchillas right now, they look traumatized because she...
Because
Just
they've been
like-
biting your webcam?
No, well, all right. So previously they bit my webcam, and it's still been working, but they did not bite it today because every time I let them out, I put stuff on top of, you know, tables and desks where they can't reach. So they didn't get to my webcam today.
Shakunin says, don't fall for Natasha's tricks. Subtext, like I did. Nice.
Basically.
All right. Well, let's have this run end quickly. I very rarely want to run to end quickly, but this is such an awful deck. Such an awful deck. Like, this is like a classic way to like build a deck and then like have decent value, but know that it's just a really bad deck.
Get up.
Like, it doesn't carve out. Its parts don't really make sense
You
together.
asked for it.
Victory or death.
We never had an option to make a curb out or to do anything.
J McDougal 8 subscribed for 3 months in a row. Thank you so much for your
Awesome.
support, man.
Coin out the Warsong Commander to Frothing Berserker. Charge out.
Charging out that 2/4.
No, we'll do this. We'll do this. I'm okay with dropping the Abusive Sergeant and making him waste his ping for a card.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. But are we keeping the Frothing? I guess if we have the board, we keep the Frothing.
Yeah,
That's
right?
fine.
Look, what's he gonna do after he pings our Abusive Sergeant, right?
And then we coin out Frothing, and then we can Shattered Sun it. Okay.
He can
We've got a
flame
plan,
cannon,
at least.
but yeah.
It's a vulnerable plan, for sure.
Plans don't change.
Fight, maggot.
Plans
think it
never
does.
change.
I do like the flexibility that the axe gives us.
Yes.
Now,
But the plan never changes.
by coining out the Frothing, we're saying, please don't have a flame cannon.
Yup. We have options.
Do have options.
Scarlet Crusader is a definite. I think it's actually just way better than the Frothing.
It's just way better than the Frothing.
Yeah. I'm done with the Frothing. The thing is, he's probably going to drop something and ping it the next turn. Well, that's not actually helpful. Because it's just going to eat the Shatter Sun.
Do we
How do we
Froth
deal
him
with
now?
this?
Shattered Sun doesn't help us.
And then he pings, and then our Frothing eats. Yeah. We're Frothing now, and we're sad.
We are very sad, but
We could just Fury War Axe now. No, Frothing's better.
Frothing's better.
Well, I don't know.
Because I
Yeah,
think
no,
we...
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a lot more likely that we Death's Bite next turn, right? So if you put out the Fiery War Axe now, it just
No,
kind of
there's
gets
no way we Death Bite this turn. What's he gonna drop with 4 mana that's 4 health?
Yeah, I don't know.
What to do? What to do?
We are coming up on an awkward turn. This is also... We have 3 weapons in hand. It's... You just can't play everything.
Well, you know, maybe we do Death Bite this. Just use the mana instead of Fury War Axe.
I think... Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think we do. Hope it's a
All right.
2/3.
Yeah, we need to hope that it's like a real dud.
Wow. Could Fury War Axe. No, this will get 5 damage next turn.
Yeah, I think we might need it. We also just need him
Fury
to
War Axe
get
is good. No, we can. Okay, we can do that, and then that's fine. Ugh. I don't like to have to ping everything, but I guess it also sets up the Frothing a little better.
Damn.
Well, that sucked.
I strike.
Shredders are always tough.
Really?
Okay. Oh, he's gonna give value back to us?
Okay. I'm gonna take attack over defense.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
No need to set up a weapon we can't play for a while.
So sad. This is the hand that...
Well, no, it's very good if he's like sniping or something, because that's a great move. With even with just the War Axe and the Arcanite Reaper, but it's like otherwise not a good move. We don't need to slam that. There's no real point. We just shattered.
Yeah.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
In this for the long haul.
Give me a quest.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Okay.
Seriously? This So we slammed the 4/4 and traded in. So if all works out, we could Fury Warhack something else and the Harvest Golem.
Slam fire. Oh, I get it. Okay. So what do we want him to get?
Probably the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, let's see anyway. This is coming out.
Gotta kill off the questing.
Alright. Drake, kill the 3/1 tap.
Well, Drake first. Let's see what happens.
New plan. Whirlwind, throw ourselves into the 6/1. 6/4, I mean.
I think so. Let's see what pops out. Aha. Okay.
Fun. Fun things.
Very fun. Watch, he's a Bluegill warrior for this exact moment.
Someday I'll be just like you.
My shield for Argus.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Ah, I wish this cleave would have come at a better time, but let's
Death Spite and then Cleave.
yep.
Yeah, this is good. It sets it up for. Yeah, it brings the 2/3 down to.
Let's keep the train rolling. Getting closer and closer to being dealt lethal. Having still no card advantage to win this back. I mean, this is the problem. This is why Warrior also got like a lot worse, right? You have this more things like Shredders, which are really, really bad for people that need to clear the board. And Warrior needs to clear the board until it goes for face. And it's just you just don't get the chance to set this up anymore. Oh, come on.
Ooh. The discounts.
Not much you can do.
Nope.
The frost wolves stand ready.
So we could just be dead right here. Very possible.
If not now, in like 2 turns.
Yeah. Yeah. We weren't fast enough, and those arcane interlocks were really good for him.
Yeah. I mean, we were playing a card advantage game because we had to. And there's no, we don't, this deck doesn't have a comeback mechanism. Not technically dead, I guess.
Nope. So you could execute the 3/2.
1 damage.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Aww.
You gotta give it to him. You gotta love those bomber lethals.
Yep. Alright. So we lost a bunch of games, which we had no way of winning, and we got 5 wins when I thought we'd get 3. It's pretty good. All in all, it's pretty good. These are just the decks that you're happy you don't go 0-3 with.
That's fair enough. So, any conclusions you want to draw from this?
No, it was an awful deck. It did awful. I thought it did better. It did better than I expected it to, because we curved out more than I expected it to. We beat the odds at curving out, which is always good. But it was a crappy deck. There's no cohesion in how it was built. The warrior needs the early game, which we drafted for as much as we could, but it's how the draft is presented to you.
1 second.
The fact that we got offered a whole bunch of axe flingers didn't help, because those cards would have been other warrior class cards, which used to almost all be good. And then, slowly as there's GVG, and then there's BRM, just gets worse and worse. So this is kind of the risk that you run. I'd say this kind of stuff would happen a quarter of the time, where you would get a deck now that's just generally unworkable. And it doesn't matter. The thing with warrior is it's not like mage, right? You can, or paladin, or if you have a bad deck, you can save the deck with a couple good cards.
Yeah.
You can't save the warrior deck. It's like a priest deck, right? You can't save a priest deck. It doesn't matter if you end up getting a bunch of high value cards. If your deck doesn't work, it just doesn't work.
Seven Spirits has a question. What was crappy about the deck other than being unlikely to curve out?
Everything about the deck. No, what's the deck trying to do? Is it trying to get the early board? No, it can't. Does it have late game in order to win on card advantage? No, it can't. Can it burst for face damage? Only from about 15-ish damage, and it can't deal 15 damage to people before, because it doesn't have an early game. So what can this deck do? And the answer is nothing. The deck could never do anything. When you look at when the deck ended up the entire starting at pick 20, we're just it needs to curve out. If it doesn't curve out, it has nothing.
Yeah, you did.
So everything is tied to this curving out thing, and the way this deck is. Not all warrior decks are like that, right? Some warrior decks are more control, but that's not the deck that we had. We don't have enough big things. You get to the late game, what happens? How did we lose all these games? We generally ran out of cards. Or we ran out of, we had some weapons, but we couldn't use them. But even if we had used them, we would have been on card advantage. We just didn't have enough card advantage in this deck to play that way. And we didn't have enough ways to armor up. And we didn't have any way to curve out. So there was just, you're being pulled in all directions all the time as the warrior. So you really gotta, hit sweet spots of decks that function. And this deck did not hit any of the sweet spots in any direction. And had no flexibility.
For you to open your pack or /packs.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely opening up the packs.
Thomaside27, you said you had weapons. Having no weapons is a terrible warrior.
No, yes, but having weapons doesn't make a warrior good.
Yes. Like we talked about earlier on, weapons are really good value. The problem with weapons, because there's always an upside and downside to almost every card, right? Except something like Shield of Minibot, in which case there's no downside at all because it's a broken card. With weapons, the problem is, so number one, there's only one weapon slot, and quite a few times you saw that we had 3 weapons in hand. So when we had 4 cards in hand, we might as well only have 2 cards in hand, because you can flood the board with minions. You can't flood with weapons. Number 2, you need to curve out a bit more aggressively as a warrior, or at least curve better as a warrior, just because if you don't, you can always use weapons as removal, or you can use weapons as value as well. It's removal and value removal, but it's dangerous if you don't have the board, because if they have 2 minions on the board to your 1 and you use a weapon, you swing in, and then unless you can clear their board, actually, you're going to take basically double the damage because you don't have the board, and you can't afford to take double the damage.
And that's
because
double
you're
the
just gonna
damage for
die.
each weapon. We had 4 or 5 weapons, so we're taking
Right.
5 times the damage. And when you don't have the board, you're already kind of like, on the way to dying. So then you take 5 times more damage than you normally take. Not a very good class. Not a very good design. It was hanging in together before because it had the advantage of the weapon. But the weapon advantage is lower now because it gives that one attack, one measly attack, no matter how many you have. So it's falling behind spells when number of attacks is becoming more important.
Yeah. Captain Goof makes a good point. You opened up a Mistress of Pain in the pack, so it was a pretty good night overall.
Even Mistress of Pains are all dust now. Needs to be golden.
Oh.
No gold, no win.
So sad. So sad.
Yeah.
Very philosophical. Even Mistress of Pain is dust now.
How many Mistress of Pains do I have? Let me check my collection. We're gonna hang out here until like 10 o'clock, so like for another like 8 minutes. If you guys have any questions, I just finished doing synergies for Hearth Arena for all of BRM earlier today. So that's all in the system. It'll all be automatically updated when the time comes, and there's always so many things to do there.
Guys, this is how you
See,
can
we
tell.
even have 2 Mistress of Pains that are golden.
You have 2 golden Mistress of
Yeah,
Pains.
so these,
wow.
from 6 to 7, not a big deal.
But yeah, you get to see all those cards, the quote unquote new cards in his collection that he never looks at because he just
Oh, yeah.
never plays constructed. Look at all those new
Constructed.
cards.
Why would you limit yourself to a certain number of cards when you can have all the cards?
All right, guys.
So if you look
any
at my
more
history,
questions?
if you look at my history, I do take Mistress of Pains over Yetis. It's that good of a card. We don't have it that high on the tier list, but depending on like where we are in the draft, I very frequently take Mistress of Pains over cards like Yetis. Everett says, HS says, at Adwick, I drafted a classic aggro priest. How screwed am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Depends on what your deck is. Overall, classic aggro priest does very well. It's one of the highest performing archetypes, actually. So, depends. Mostly because classic aggro doesn't mean go to face. It just means you have the board from the very beginning. And you have a lot of low costing cards that'll help you secure the board in the beginning. That's generally a good thing as the priest, right? To have the board. So it depends on, if the deck is built like a face deck, you're going to fail. But if the deck is just built a little more aggressively, it's going to do decently, actually. And even face deck, like if you actually build a priest doing a face deck, that must have meant you got pretty high value face cards. And in that case, just the value of the going face would carry you to a decent amount. I've played about 3 face priests since GVG came out, and my average is a little above 6 wins with them, which is around where my priest average is, so...
Yeah. IS Mateo, you're very welcome. I'm glad that the stream is helping you out. Yeah, learn from our good plays and definitely learn from our bad plays,
I think the worst play we made today is selecting Warrior. I think that's just a play that people should not be making anymore.
So the worst play that we made like 2 weeks ago was scheduling Warrior.
Yeah.
So this is a play that was a long time in the making.
Yep. But hopefully we've moved on from this. We're going to be doing, I think, Druid next, or maybe Shaman. Is the Shaman card coming in next week? We're doing either Druid or Shaman. And then we're doing the other one, and then we're rounding out with Pally, Mage, Warlock, all those other classes that are good now.
Okay. Actually, this is a good question. TomSide27 asks, is Gang Up bad in Arena? If so, why? Yes, Gang Up is terrible in Arena. We actually gave it a score of what was it, 2 or 4?
2.
2. Okay. And here's why. It's tied in with why Fel Reaver is good. Basically, all right, so Gang Up, you're using 2 mana and 1 card in order to win the Fatigue War, because that's what you're saying. I will win the Fatigue Wars, and I will make the average congregate of the rest of my deck better by using this 1 card and 2 mana. And you can't do that, because as a rogue, as any class, you can't count on winning Fatigue Wars, especially as a rogue, which is a very strong tempo class. So you're using up that 1 card. You could say you're using up that 1 card to make the rest of your deck better as well, and it's still not worth it. So that's why it's a bad card. And it's the opposite of the Fel Reaver, just because it's like with the Fel Reaver, people think it's a bad card because you're discarding cards, but once again, it doesn't matter until you actually reach fatigue. So it's like the opposite of that philosophy.
Yup. Rick J. Star says, but Adwicta, aren't you really good with Warrior? I am, but Warrior is really, really bad. There's two reallys in how bad Warriors are, and I'm only one really good with Warrior, so it's not quite making up the difference anymore. Like, when Warrior was just bad and I was really good with Warrior, it was fine. But now Warrior's really, really bad. They got one really for each expansion that came out since Nax.
Yeah.
And you can tell that we were doing well with the Warrior. We planned stuff out, we took good risks, we got 5 wins with this deck. I cannot underscore how bad this deck is. This is one of the worst decks we've ever drafted. And you could look earlier into like earlier runs and maybe find decks that you may think is bad, but from what I have, from my memory, I cannot remember taking a deck that I was less enthused about as this one. It just didn't work on so many levels. Even if you just had a full deck of all neutral, medium, value cards, it would have been better than this, because that would have been a functional deck that's not flashy, that'll get you I don't know, 5 to 7 wins and be happy with it. This deck, I was predicting 3. So getting to 5, actually, I thought was a pretty big accomplishment. I nearly doubled the amount of wins that I thought I was going to get with this deck.
Yeah. Joe Tunborn asks, there have been a couple Warrior players who've been pleased with Axe Flinger for Face Warrior in Constructed. Does it have any merit in a more aggressive arena deck?
Anything that's being done in Constructed has absolutely zero bearing on anything that's being done in Arena. So, no.
I'll say
no
this.
merit. Zero merit, or whatever score you gave it, like 18 merit.
I'll say this, and I have had very little experience with Axe Flinger in the arena, but even if I were a very aggressive minion, I think I'd still prefer just a solid 4. In which case, I could see the appeal of it, because you could deal 2 damage to a minion and then also deal 2 damage to the face, so you're not missing out on the 2 damage. But at the same time,
how often do you want your 4-drop to deal only 2 damage? Like, how good is an Oasis for a face deck?
Yeah.
This is like an Oasis in that it has to get the same value as the Oasis, but then it also gets 2 more face damage. It's just not... Like, Warrior needs that burst of face damage. This is... Like, Nightblade is better. Like, that's the sad truth.
I mean, for super aggressive decks, Nightblade is not bad at all, right?
Yeah.
For super aggressive decks,
3
if you think about
guaranteed
it,
damage.
Exactly. And when you compare it with Azure Drake, which is one of the best cards in the game, some decks might want the 3 damage rather than the 1 card draw.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you're never going to want the 2 damage and the 2 less damage on your attack, right? That's the problem.
Exactly. That's the
It would
problem.
have been a better card if it was even a 5/2. Even though a 5/2 4-drop seems unplayable, it would have at least fit the theme of, look, this is essentially like a Mind Blast, but you have to spend resources to remove it.
It kind of sounds like we're spouting craziness here, because we just said that Nightblade is sometimes better than Drake, but it's true. It's true. It's the same thing.
I don't think Hearth Arena will ever go there, though.
No, it'll never go there. But, you can also not pick it because there are different rarities. But, we're just saying in a situation. In a situation. Like, it's turn 5 and you have those plays.
Jeremy133 says, at Arcta, do you think there will be a shift of power for the classes after the full release of BRM cards? I cannot stress how powerful that Paladin card is. It's a stupidly powerful Paladin class card. That's a common that's drawing you cards based on the amount of things you kill on the board.
Oh, Solemn Vigil.
Oh my god. The Shaman, obviously, hugely amazing class card. And once all of this stuff goes into the meta, Mage and Priest, and Druid also. Druid also got good class cards on top of that.
Druid got great class cards.
Yeah, because the meta will slow down, so it'll be good for for all 3 of those classes. Rogue will be hurt. I think Rogue is the class hurt the most besides Warrior. But, you weren't playing Warrior anyway, so it doesn't affect you. Or at least most people are not playing Warrior. But Rogue is a very popular class, and that class it's going to be a little weaker than it used to be. But Rogue as a class has, like, a way to compensate for it, right? Like, they have Sprint. So when the game slows down, they're not, like, out of luck. Are there any other classes I haven't? Oh, Hunter. It's going to be a little worse for Hunter. Also because of the speed of the game. But so Mage goes up a lot because I think I talked about this before. Just stuff with on turn 4, stuff with 6 health. That's a thing now. And when that's a thing, fireballs get way better. And fireballs you're picking anyway. So the problem with fireball was always that you never really got that like value, because 4 mana should be dealing 5 damage, right? That's equal value. So the great part about fireball, besides its flexibility, why it's like a super premium card, is that it's 6 instead of 5. But you usually don't get that value until later in the game because nothing had 6 health except the water elemental on that turn. But now you can get it, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that kind of covers. Maybe I'm just missing a class. Oh, Warlock. Warlock with the Imp Gang boss obviously got better, and the consistency of drafting it. Like, a lot of times you can't think of how good is this card by itself. You think about how often am I going to get screwed in a draft now. And then for Warriors, for Warlocks, that consistency went significantly up. For Warriors, that consistently went somewhat down from an already pretty low point. And yeah. Oh, and Priest. So Priest didn't get any good cards, so the consistency went down. But Priest had such high consistency of like, if you're not totally screwed, you're doing very well. And now it's if you're not totally screwed, you're doing very well because the whole meta's slowing down.
Yeah. So Trikuna has been asking me about my BRM experiences, and I don't have any. I have actually been pretty busy with school. Also, I got back into D3 a little bit. Been playing Talos Principle, and I've been playing 1 Hearthstone game a day, and that's crushing people with my Shaman deck.
You gotta finish that before Thursday.
Oh, Tuesday? Yeah, you're right, I do.
No, Thursday. Oh, or you can finish it on Tuesday, I guess. I just mean because on Thursday the new Shaman card's coming out. You wouldn't be running your like old school Shaman deck.
I think 7 Fire Elis is still pretty good.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us tonight. Sadly, this was the expected length of the run from even pre-draft. Warriors just in this kind of spot in the meta. So I think we made good plays. It's definitely something that I think was a good watch for general gameplay-wise. And there were some Warrior things going on, but you also saw the weakness of it. Like, if you need weapons, right? So you got to pick weapons in the beginning. But then you don't want too many weapons, so then you're screwed in that way when you're drafting. Just so many ways to get screwed, and then you don't curve out, and then you need Warriors in such a bad spot. One last question before we sign off. Jeremy says, at Adwicta, with the current and future Hearthstone arena where more cards are being released, it will come a time when all classes will be ranked closely, no matter the quality of the cards, because of the high randomness of the cards you will draft, mainly lesser chance of Flame Strikes, mini-bots, etc. Not if they keep releasing cards like Flame Strike, mini-bots, which they have, right? Like, what are the new cards, right? The Shaman card has just raised the general quality of Shaman class cards. Druid card raised the general quality of Druid class cards. Same with Warlock. Same with Paladin, not so much with some of the other classes, which is why they're going down a bit. And they can totally screw you, like if you're the Warrior, by giving you repeatedly giving you totally unplayable cards. So not necessarily. It depends on what Blizzard goes. If Blizzard keeps releasing like average cards for all these classes, like I don't know what's a good example of an average card, like Lava Shock, right? Like then you're gonna be fine, but they're not. Because they need people to play these cards. So these cards are going to be good and constructed. So these cards are going to... And I think if a card is good and constructed, there's like a 50% chance it's also good in Arena. So it's going to be all dependent on the direction Blizzard goes. And Blizzard has a thing out for Garrosh. So, I don't know. We'll see. If the next expansion hurts the Warrior again, like... At that point, you just know that Blizzard could not care less about the Arena. Which I hope is not what's happening.
Right. It all depends if Blizzard comes out with high synergy cards. High synergy cards are not necessarily good in Arena, but stuff like Fireguard Destroyer, which is just a vanilla good card,
right.
If they come out with good vanilla cards, that's dangerous for Arena. Not dangerous, but like those are cards you have to watch out for in Arena.
They change the meta in terms of what classes get better or not, even if they reduce the amount of Flame Strikes. All right. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday for Merps's stream, which will start at 5 o'clock New York time. And we will also see you next week for the Arena Coop for a real run that we expect to actually do well in, hopefully. It'll either be Druid or Shaman. And I think Druid gets a Volcanic Lumberer, right? And Shaman gets their common card. But in either case, it's very good. By the way, guys, Druid of the Flame, I have had so much success with it by playing it as a 5/2, which is very very unexpected. I didn't think the 5/2 was going to get a lot of play. Like I thought it was going to get maybe 20% played, but it's coming out like 60-40 right now. In favor of the 2/5, but still. Yeah, and if you guys are new to the stream, please follow us. And if you guys have been watching for a while, feel free to subscribe, or maybe subscribe next week when we give you a hopefully good run. We're getting to the point. So if you guys are wondering why, like all throughout the GVG era, the Arena Coop had not been doing so hot record wise, and we had been like on fire before that. Part of it is just because we haven't been as good at GVG as we had pre-Nax. Like our personal records had all taken a dip, and so and then we were trying to like figure
Small
out
dip.
different, small dip.
Yeah.
But you go from 7.5 wins per run to 7 wins per run, and that's significant.
Right.
But in the last several weeks, like the last like month, and even more than a month, it's been back. Like my recent stats, you can just see my stats online or whatever. It's 7.5 again. Warrior aside, and part of that maybe have to do with the fact that Warrior never queued up for me, so I haven't played any Warrior. But I have been like playing Shaman to lower my average, Priest, Warlock, classes that I'm not the best with, and it's all been fine. So I expect it to, it to go tick up back to close to the Nax era now. And we said this before. We're going to always get better because of the style that we play. We're going to get better the less people there are playing the arena. We're going to get better just when less cards are released and there's less things to adjust to.
Yeah.
So it's just a natural progression, right?
It was also very frustrating when we would get like draft decks and then get 12 wins.
We've also had really crappy drafts on the Coop. You can look back at the Coop drafts. I think we were like definitely below average draft choices were offered for like 2 months straight. I think we had like 3 passable decks in the last like 9.
Yeah.
And normally you expect like 2/3 of your decks to be passable, right? So we know we're underperforming, and we don't think it'll happen. And like Merp said, whenever we do play together, like on a Poltralizer or whatever, we have like a near 50% 12 win rate, which again is not representative, but it's just being skewed in weird directions. And those drafts are generally pretty good too. Like we're excited about it after we draft it. We're like, oh man, this deck is gonna go like far.
All right, that's it for today. I need to just take more allergy meds.
Yes.
I'm dying here.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
See you
I will
guys.
see you all Tuesday.